This content is brought to you in association with my buddies over at Jam Jam Cards UK. You can find the links to the eBay store and the Facebook page in the description.
Hi guys, it's Joe here from Rufioh. Welcome to the channel. For today's video is something a little bit different, something not really Yu-Gi related. Today I wanted to bring you an update on the channel and how things are going to work moving forward, at least to the best of my knowledge. But before we get into that, it is important to understand a bit of backstory about where things are in my actual personal life. Now, this is not really the kind of thing I'd normally talk about on camera because, well, people either just don't care or, they're just here for content and therefore they're not that invested in what happens with the channel. But for those of you who are, I did want to bring you a bit of an update. So you won't have noticed any real difference in terms of scheduling. We're still uploading like 3 times a week and things like that, but things are probably going to be changing going forward. Now, there are a number of reasons for this, and those changes, I don't really know how they look just yet, but I'm going to be talking a little bit about what's going on and where I think things are likely to head, but all of these things are kind of up in the air at the moment. So for those of you who are unaware, I am expecting my first child later on this year. Now, this is something I hadn't really disclosed just yet personally because, well, I didn't feel the timing was right, and I have some personal issues on the side that kind of make this a little bit more difficult for me to just openly talk about in public because there are certain people I don't really want knowing about what's going on in my life, so I kind of avoid talking about it too much, except for the people who need to know. But whilst it's a really exciting time for me knowing that my firstborn is on her way, and yes, I'm having a girl, believe it or not, there are a lot of challenges that come along with that, and anyone who's not a parent might not know about this, and I certainly didn't until I got to here. But actually, not all of the hard work starts once the baby's here. And as part of that, it means that I'm pretty behind on all of my real life stuff. Running the Yu-Gi-Oh channel does indeed take up a real amount of time. I know there are some channels that get by on making the bare minimum on their content. For me, it usually takes upwards of about 12 hours a week worth of work. On top of that, I also work extraordinarily long hours for the, compared to most people. I work about 11 to 12 hours a day, usually on average. I'm usually out of the house for another hour on top of that in terms of travel and things. And by the time you get home and try and keep on top of everything and be an actual adult and do the things you're supposed to do in life, it's pretty difficult to do that. And then, of course, to put on top of all of that, my wife is heavily pregnant and she's really struggling to keep up. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into a therapy session. I just want you to kind of understand where things are in my life and where I'm going with all of this. So let me be absolutely clear. At this stage, there are no plans for the channel to go anywhere, nor am I planning to stop any of my uploads. What I am, however, going to do is be relieving a little bit of the pressure off myself and the pressures I put onto myself. I'm someone who is incredibly driven when these things come up. I don't believe in half measures. I don't believe in excuses. And for the last 3.5 years, I, without fail, have uploaded 3 videos a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and more often than not, extra ones on top of that. However, the reality is that if I want to continue to do this, I have to find a bit more balance with how I want to do things. So my plan going forward is, well, let's rip off those kind of demands of 3 videos a week. Now, my plan is to continue to try and do that wherever I can. However, I'm going to be relieving a bit of the pressure in terms of how many uploads I need to do, when I need to do them. I'm going to be a little bit more free with all of that. Upload basically when I feel like I've got the right footage, when I think I've got things right, and of course, as much as I possibly can. There's still going to be some weeks where I upload 5 goddamn videos a week, and there's going to be somewhere I might only get 1 or 2 up. And that's absolutely fine. As explained, I have no plans to go anywhere. I still absolutely love this game. I still love spending all the time with the guys. I love getting on the road, all of those kind of things. But I do have to get the balance right. Now, of course, these are my plans in the interim. With my wife being 6 months pregnant, we've got about 3 months left to go. And then I'm going to need to reassess how I want to do things going forward and how the shape of the channel is going to change. There's also some changes I'm looking at on a wider scale, and that doesn't just include in terms of frequency of upload and all those things, but actually the kind of content that I'm putting out at the moment. The reason I'm doing this is because I've actually noticed a real decrease in quality of content of my own work, and I'm unhappy with how things are going. The number of subscribers that I'm getting is lower month on month than it has been before. At one point it was well over 100 subs a month, close to 130 subs a month, and this month I've had 60. I've not put out any less videos. In fact, I've probably put out just as many videos. In fact, I've put out more popular videos because I've been putting out deck profiles which get a ton of views, but that's not converting, which says to me that something is wrong. So also going to be some changes in terms of the scheduling of things. There's actually not really going to be a schedule, but there's also going to be some changes in terms of the content that I'm putting out, or at least some attempts to. So when you're doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Tubing, things are a little bit more difficult. It also depends on what kind of events you can get to, what you can get hold of. Sometimes you can't get deck profiles. Sometimes you make a vlog and everything's bullshit and it's horrible. Sometimes you make discussion content and it just doesn't land. So I'm going to be experimenting with a few different things, I suspect, in terms of whatever time I can make and things like that. But expect some kind of different content to come out. Hopefully a little bit more discussion content, because that's really the kind of stuff I'd like to do. But anyway, I've definitely waffled on too much. Do expect to start seeing some changes in the room in which I'm recording. In fact, this is going to be the baby's room. Hence, if you can see in the background here, there's a lot of stuff being piled up. That's because we're packing everything away so we can clear out and make those changes. So you may see some pink appearing in here. It's not just me changing some sort of character. It's going to be the baby's room. And where that leaves me when the baby's room takes over and I have nowhere to record, I do not bloody know. But we're going to try and figure it out. But like I say, I just wanted to fill you guys in with how things are going with the channel, the plans going forward, and if you notice some changes, this is a video to explain why. But anyway, that's enough waffling on from me. If this is your first time on the channel, I guess welcome here. This is probably not the kind of content you were looking for, but hopefully you subscribe anyway, so you don't miss out on Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in future. But definitely enough waffling on from me. Thank you very much for coming along. I do really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.